Who am I? I'm a father, husband, entrepreneur. I'm very proud of my Polish heritage. Born and raised in the awesome neighborhood of Jackowo, which is known throughout history books as the home of Polonia in Chicago. My childhood was spent at St. Hyacinth School, which is also known as Jackowo. Went to a Catholic high school, Loyola Academy in Wilmette, and ended up my college career in Carthage College in Kenosha, Wisconsin. I took over a family real estate company in 1987 when my father retired, which was primarily a residential firm at that time. We took it into a little bit different direction and went into the commercial sector. And since then, it's been a beautiful history. My two sons now work here with me. They have basically taken over the business. I'm leaving it in capable hands, I trust. I'm currently the chairman of Copernicus Foundation in Chicago. The foundation has gone extremely well, and we are now standing as one of the healthiest financial Polish organizations in the country. And my goal now is to do what I've been raised my entire childhood to do, and that's to get active in Polonia. My father, my mother, who were both Polish immigrants. My mother came on a Swedish ship through London, in the bottom of the ship, in very poor conditions. Ended up in Boston, actually Buffalo first, then Boston. My father was imprisoned after World War II by the communists, the Russians, in Lublin, in the palace. He was on death row, but always had faith in his country and his heritage. And when he came to Chicago, he always instilled that in me and my sister and in our family to never forget where we came from. Owszem, mówię po polsku, wychowany. U nas w domu nie było wolno mówić po angielsku, nigdy. Moi rodzice umarli, jak ja już byłem po 40. I jak byłeś u nas przy stole, czy u nas, u rodziców w domu, to zawsze mówiliśmy po polsku. Well, what it means to me is I was raised with Al Mazewski as my father's personal attorney, and then he went and stepped into the role not only at PNA, Polish National Alliance, but also at the Polish American Congress. And I watched this man. He was a statesman. He was revered. He was accepted nationally on both sides of the aisle. So he always laughed that he raised one child as a Democrat and the other child as a Republican, so he would cover his bases. And I took that to heart because I really truly believe that this is about the Polish Americans' development in this country, and your political views, although they're important to you individually, as it stands for Polonia, it needs to be brought together. Well, a lot of the meetings of the Polish American Congress, especially in my early teens, and that was Solidarity movement took place, were in our family's living room, and they called it Salon Cioromski, where my father had this uncanny ability to draw together Polonia leaders in our living room. And it wasn't once, it wasn't twice, it was several tens and tens of times where I would come home from college and there would be 30 people in my living room that I knew of them. I mean, from Jan Nowak-Jezielański to Al Mazewski, Edward Moskal, to Roman Puczynski, to Dan Rostenkowski. I mean, it was a truly a gift my father had, was to bring these people together. And I believe I've learned a lot, and I could do the same. We have some fabulous people involved in this organization now. And the state divisions are critical, because the state divisions are what built this organization. We'll keep it going, yet let's expand it. That's all I'm saying. There's so much talent in Polonia throughout this country. We just need to put it together a little better. And through the delegates that are currently in the Polish American Congress and the new ones that will join the Polish American Congress, I am a firm believer that we will be in a very good national stage as ethnicities go. But most importantly, the Washington to Warsaw connection is what I really want to reestablish. I think it's very important, although it's expensive. So we have to rationalize both sides of that question. But if there's going to be a lobbying organization or a political organization or an organization to promote Polishness, it needs to have a presence in Washington. We need to have a lobbyist presence in Washington. I was raised with Myra Leonard and Jan Nowak Jeziorski, who were very close friends of my parents, and Myra was. I was in the White House 4 times, and I met with 3 different presidents, and it was with Jan Nowak Jeziorski with Reagan, and they simply knocked on the door of the president's Oval Office, and as a 16-year-old kid or 17-year-old kid, I walked right in. So it was a powerful time where Polonia was respected and it was growing in the right direction because we had a common fight. We were fighting for the sovereignty of Poland, for the safety of Poland, for the anti-communists of Poland. I've proven that already. I will be able to talk to both sides, and I've done it here. I mean, living in the state of Illinois in my entire life, you had no choice to talk with the Democrats because that's all we have. But I don't look at politics in left or right. I look at politics as right and wrong. I'm more of a centrist, and I always have been. I think that the political scene in Poland is very similar to ours, and maybe even a little bit more divided than ours, yet going down the same paths. It's the conservatives and the liberals and that whole division that's been created politically. But we shouldn't really be participating so much in the politics of the situation. We should be promoting our mission statement, and that's the critical thing. Poland is a free and prosperous and a beautiful nation. I visit several times a year now for the last few years, and I'm absolutely overwhelmed on what they've reached economically, politically, and how they've gone into the future, truly astoundingly. I have a lot of meetings I've attended on the political side, on the cultural side, on the educational side, which brings me to the professorships. I mean, let's get the professors in the universities more involved. Let's get some dialogue going with these students who are now, from what I understand, throughout the universities in the United States, some of the highest degreed individuals are of Polish extraction. And nobody's talking about them. We need to reach out to those kids. We need to bring them into the fold. We need to show my generation of why to be a Polish American you should be proud, and take this pride and go forward with it a little stronger than we are accustomed to. We don't have to fight for the freedom of Poland. We have to fight for the sovereignty and for the borders of Poland and for their ability not to fall back again. But what we do need to do is we really, really need to keep the unity of Polonia together to show our strength. I think that entrepreneurship is very important in any organization. I think it's evident. I brought on several of the directors I brought on to the Copernicus Foundation were from private enterprise and business and CEOs of companies and presidents of companies that really helped us think about this as not only an organization to promote Polish culture, as our mission statement stated, but it was an ability to bring together and show how strong Polonia is. We're no longer neighborhood or church affiliated as an ethnicity. We are all over. We're from the Hawaiian Islands to downstate Florida. There's nowhere I go in the United States, in any state, where I'm not proud to be Polish now, because we have made a mark in this country. And now that Poland's got that window of opportunity as being one of the foremost countries in Europe, the Polonia thing is something that we should all be proud of. I think that that's where we have to work the hardest. PAC has lacked the involvement of CEOs, the lack of involvement of entrepreneurs, although there was that ability when there was a cause. We just have to prove that there's really a cause, and the cause is even as powerful, if not more powerful now, than when it was during and after World War II. I've reached out to several CEOs, and that's one of my parts of my first platform, is to gather a meeting of Polish American CEOs, not only of public traded companies, but local companies throughout where the state divisions are mostly in right now, and bring them to the table, and let's see if we can raise that capital necessary, much like a lot of ethnicities do already. We're not creating something new. We just simply have to ask. I think that the vote for me is not necessarily a vote for dramatic change. I think the vote for me is a vote for different. I think the vote for me, it would be more on the basis of truly wanting to make a difference. I'm a Polish American, born the first generation in the United States. I speak, read, and write Polish. I'm proud of being Polish. I think I can reach 2, 3, 4 generations behind me that nobody's even asked to participate in Polish American Congress. I often laugh with my friends and I say it's sexy to be Polish right now, and it truly is because of Poland's involvement in Ukraine and its involvement in the European sector and how respected they are worldwide now. Again, I'm not bringing politics in it. The Polish people have had a terrible history in terms of being brought to separation and destruction and annihilation. And for the first time, even in the history books that I've read over and over again, Poland's got a chance to do something on that continent, but we can even do better here because of the strength and the sheer numbers of 9.5 or 10 million Polish Americans throughout the United States.